Hello again then, and welcome to another episode of the Started Order 6 Online League Review Shows. This is National Hunt Week 6 review. We're a little bit later this week due to Christmas and all the festivities and partying that's been going on, so I'm going to take your mind back to the weekend before, where we had some great racing, and Doug and myself had a look at the Group Grade 1 and 2 races over the jumps, and we had a chat on the telephone, so we'll get straight over to that now. Okay, right, I've got Doug on the line, and I've got the microphone turned on, and Monday, National Hunt Racing, fighting fifth hurdle at Newcastle, started you off, big hurdle race.
Yeah, it was a good race, and redundant power for John's jumpers was too classy for them. Minding stuck on well, considering it sat on the pace the whole way, and Dominion of Saints was eye-catching coming from the tail of the field. Nasaki, I thought, found the pace and quality a bit too hot in Group 1 company, and may enjoy Group 3 better. But, I think Mighty River Run was disappointing as well.
It was, because that had looked good, hadn't it, a couple of times before, and I was sort of thinking about that one as a champion hurdle chance, but looking at that, redundant pals, my anti-post favourite for the champion hurdle, and after that, pretty impressive. Dominion of Saints back to form in third as well.
Yep. Joshua
Sutherland's got to be pleased with that, and Barata Natiam ran its usual good race as well. So that'll turn out to be a good race, that, and I think come champion hurdle time, we'll be looking at the form of that race and trying to work out what we think will win, but redundant pals looking like my favourite at the minute.
Yep.
From that one.
And redundant power is just too good. And the stable's on fire, so...
Yeah, certainly is.
Definitely. And then we had the Winter Novice Hurdle. That was a Grade 2 affair. Limini for Peter Kale was a little too smart for some of these horses, and probably had a little bit of help in the weights as well, and along with Salty Arnold, who ran second, and Checha Hymena, who ran third. I think they all carried the same weight. They all come from the tail of the field, which was interesting, and overall I think the top 8 were all competitive, and that Banterbury Maid was disappointing on the day.
It was, wasn't it? Because that was looking like it was going to be quite a good horse the other week. So I don't know, it's just a one-off or what. I'll have to give it another chance next time, I suppose. It was a short price favourite, and it looked like it got in the best form. It wasn't a handicap race, so it's a strange one, that one. But Limini did win really well. Salty Arnold ran one in second as well. And the Roof's on Fire was up there for you again as well. Broke the Gate, Garancier was that was in there again as well. So yeah, some good horses in that, and a form will stand up for that race as well. Peter Kale's got to be pleased with that Limini, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Limini's a good horse.
Henry VIII novices chose at Sandown.
Moment of truth, unseating the rider during the race. The race was open for the taking, and Marty Cairns Royton looked the goods with a commanding win. Miss Impossible and Emergence battled on well, but the rest of the field was well beaten, and a few horses probably underperformed for their trainers as well.
Yeah, C. Darren and Synchronicity 6th and 7th, they were a bit disappointing, weren't they? I expect them to have run a bit better than that from what they'd done a few weeks before, but yeah, it was a bit of a turn up when that Moment of Truth got rid of its jockey, because that was looking like the one beforehand.
And that's the good thing about the jumps, the hurdles or steeple, is we do see the favourite, the red hot favourite, fall or lose the jockey, and it just opens up the race all of a sudden. You've got a trainer that's sitting there thinking, I might get 4th, or if I'm lucky 4th, 5th, maybe if I'm lucky 3rd, and all of a sudden the favourite goes down. It's like, hang on a minute, and maybe we're a chance here with a bit more luck. One more faller, and I'm in with a win, So, yeah, I like the way that the dynamics and the hunt, how they work.
Yeah, it always fascinates me. You get a lot of people that don't like jump racing. They say, "Oh, it's boring because it takes too long." And I'm thinking, well, you can watch it unfold, can't you? And I had a couple of races on Wednesday that were real long distance ones, and they were really fun races to commentate because there was so much going on, and horses were doing stuff, and it was. Whereas you get a 5 furlong sprint and boom, that's it. But by the time you ran through them all once, they've nearly finished.
Yeah. You pray for small fields in those races.
Yeah. You're just going to concentrate on up front, haven't you? Anyway, so that was the Henry VIII.
Well, the last race was a Grade 1. It was just a question of would Sally Army stay on its feet, and it did, and it did so with style, and it would have been a relief for Paul Rhodes. He would have been heart and mouth coming to the last few jumps.
Yeah.
Mountain Pasture showed its last start win was class by finishing second, and SodaStream 3rd. Chess and Deathbringer Maid ran well, and not sure what John's jumpers would be thinking of Green Deserts run.
No, Sally Army stands up, it wins, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
I'm just still going to go for that.
And it won so well, it's just one of those horses. It stays up, it wins, and it wins, with class.
It's funny, isn't it? Maybe it's one of those ones it knows it's good and it just loses its concentration every now and again and whacks a fence and that's what happens to it. I don't know, because I don't recall it making any mistakes this week. It's perfect all the way around from what I can remember.
It'd be a frustrating horse to have, but also it'd be a good feeling to have it as well when it wins. So.
Yeah,
it's not winning bunny races, is it? It's winning the best that can run in. So
that's right. And another thing that makes it exciting is that when you see it lining up in a race, it's not like a case of, oh, that's it, Sally Army's in the race, Sally Army's going to win, it's going to be foregone conclusion, because in the back of your mind when you're commentating on it, I'm sure it was the same for you as it was for me the week before, in the back of your mind you're thinking, is this the fence it's going to fall at, because it's either going to win or it's going to fall over, isn't it? So it's
definitely kept an eye on it.
Got to keep your eye on it. And that chest that came fourth has sort of come back to form, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks? And I think Joshua Sutherland will find another race for that eventually. He might have to drop down to Group 3 or maybe Group 3 handicap or something, but it's back to form again and running okay.
I'm sure the trainer will find the right race for it.
Yeah.
So on the Tuesday, Martin did the calls for the hunt, and once again, excellent calls. We enjoy listening to Martin call the hunt. He just has a good feel for it and good knowledge of the racing, and the Peterborough Chase for Grade 2, and it was a classy win to Loving Around.
Yeah, second week running ago as well, wasn't it? It won well the week before, I think, hadn't it? And it was up there in the lead again, like it had been the week before. It looks pretty good. It's beaten some good horses in there. That Her Green Eyes that came second is a good one as well. Loving Around got it beat. I think it beats it every time, to be honest. Salty Seagull ran well again in fourth as well. That stayed on okay. Tinstall Girl's a new one on me in third. I don't know if that was a new horse in this week. And you've got Sea Pigeon in there, and there's a lot of horses in that race that we've seen quite a few times this season. So you can gauge how sort of good it is, how good the form is for what's running in it, can't you, a lot of the time? And there's quite a few in there that have run well and won races this week. So Loving Around's looking like a pretty good bet for a really big race soon. That was a Group 2 over 20 furlongs, 2.5 miles, isn't it, that one? So it's yeah, I think it's got to be looking at that for a big Group 1, I think, soon. Yep.
And then your next race was the Bristol Novices Hurdle, and that was a Grade 2, and that was nothing cheesy about Devon Blue's win. I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of blue cheese, can you? Especially this time of year. Yeah, Devon Blue beat Kurt Douglas, but almost beat it by 5 3/4 lengths as well. So that's a big distance to sort of win by, even over the jumps. You don't win that many races by that far. I mean, we've got to take into account the fact that the age of the second horse. I mean, that's what is it? It's 100 now, isn't it? So obviously going to be slowing down a little bit.
It was a classy win by Devon Blues.
It was, and again, you got some good horses behind there. That Carly Village that was right back down in 7th, he must have been disappointed in that, Leon, because they must have thought that would finish closer. Voltor was right at the back for a lot of the time as well, but stayed on really well at the end to finish 3rd. That was the last Ben race as well, wasn't it? And he did all right this week. Last Ben, he was in the lead for quite a long time. I thought he was going to come back and get a place for a bit, but he dropped off a bit towards the end. A couple of disappointments in there. So Lily the Pink disappointed again after winning a couple of weeks ago and pulled up twice on the trot now. So I don't know what the trainer must be thinking about that one. Sort of wondering what to do with it. But Devon Blue, that was that its first run? I think it might have been. I don't remember. I certainly don't remember commentating on it before. But yeah, good win. 5 3/4 lengths. Kirk Douglas, good yardstick. Voltor, good horse in 3rd, and Carly Village back in 7th. So that's got to be in there for the big novice races later in the year.
Yeah. The next race was the Paddy Power Dial-A-Bet Chase. That was a Grade 1, and this time around we weren't joking about Bazzaglio, and he's the real deal.
Yeah, he was back to form with a bang, wasn't he?
Definitely.
Looking like a world beater earlier in the season, and then a few disappointing runs, and he won that really well. Really, really well.
And watching that race, you could just see Bazzaglio was just stalking, and I just wasn't surprised to see it take the race.
No, he ran really well. Grapes of Wrath was a good running in second as well. I would guess that John Morgan might have been a little bit disappointed in My Princess Laura, because that looked like it was probably going to be one of the main contenders at the start of the race. And Aqua Blue as well. Graham Clutterbuck must be scratching his head about his Gold Cup horses as well now, because that Miss Beat ran again later in the week and pulled up again for what appeared to be no apparent reason at all. So the sort of Gold Cup betting, if you like, is wide open again now. Basaglio back to form, but is he going to stay in form for a great length of time, or is it going to go backwards again like he did before? So it's
that's a good question, isn't it? So I tend to think it'll probably hold its form, but we'll definitely find out.
Yeah, I hope it does, because it was one of the first big races that I did, and it won really well.
Yeah,
it's good to see it out running. And was that the race where we had did you see the thunder and lightning and stuff in some of those races this week? That was pretty spectacular. That wasn't it? I wonder what on earth was going on there
great,
for a bit. First time I'd seen that in the racing, so that was good.
And then you had the Christmas hurdle. That was a grade 2, and also another exciting finish.
It was. Coney Girl, I'm sure we've seen that run a few times this season as well, and gets up and gets a good win, good jump at the last, and Howard Ham to win. Home run hitter stayed on okay as well. The Illustrious hadn't really got the pace to go with him. The Battleship was running on at the end. Good race. I think that was that one of those races where there was hardly any hurdles to jump. A couple of them this week. I don't know what's happened at Leopardstown. They redesigned the course or something, but there was a 3-mile chase. I think probably the race just before this one, the Basaglio one, where they only jumped something like 9 fences, where Cheltenham they jumped 22. And a 2-mile hurdle race, you're talking about 8 flights of hurdles usually, and they jumped 4. And this one was 3 miles and they jumped 6. It doesn't make it a jumping race, does it really, if you're only going to jump that? It's
a fast-paced race, isn't it, really?
It's a very odd thing. I don't know what the thinking is there at Leopardstown, whether they've had to take some of the fences out for safety reasons or what, but you would think that there'll have to be some sort of call at some point for those races to be moved to a different course, if that's the case, because you can't be looking at big races that are potentially going to have an impact on the really, really big races later on in the season when they've only jumped 4 flights of hurdles and stuff. It's something that probably needs to be looked at a little bit.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It is, because jumping's about jumping, and if you don't have to do any jumping, then you're not going to get the best horses who are going to win. That's right. And talking about jumping, that was a race where we got something that didn't want to jump. We got Last Bend 2, Hazel Rig, another horse for Charlie that doesn't want to race. I don't know what he does to them.
I've had a look at his breeding. We've had a chat about it, and it's the Quirks bar. There's a Quirks bar down the bottom of the breeding page, and he's got it all lit up. And it'll be something he'll be looking to rectify with his future breeding.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I thought, I'm sure that's Charlie's again. So I'm guessing it must be from the same sort of breeding lines as Last Bend.
Yep.
We'll see what it does next time. I don't know if you used to get it in Australia, but back in the 1970s when they used to be able to advertise cigarettes and things on a TV, there was a cigar called I think it was called Hamlet. I think it might have been called, or something like that. And one of their adverts was of a horse going into a set of starting stalls at the start of a race, and the race starts and the horse just doesn't move. So the jockey just takes a cigar out of his top of his silks and lights it up in the stalls. It reminds me of that when it just plonks itself at the start and doesn't want to go.
Just stands there looking around. Bug you, mate. I'm not jumping them.
Yeah, I mean, you must have thought, well, all that thunder and lightning going on, and there's no fences to jump anyway, so I ain't going to bother. There you go.
This is the quickest way back to the stable.
That's right. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye for that. Perhaps we want to see if we can arrange a 2-horse race between Last Ben and Hazel Rig, and it could take a fortnight to run it, because neither of them will move.
Actually, it'd be a good novelty race at the end of the season, wouldn't it?
The Lexus Chase was straight after that. That was a Group 1 again, and that was the one where Miss Beat did the pulling up. I don't know why. Remember, Miss Beat had won a couple of big races earlier in the season and looked like being top fancy for the Gold Cup, although Graham Clutterbuck thought it was going to be a long distance hurdler. Ran it over hurdles last week and it pulled up. Back in a chase again this week. Only 6 horses in the race. Appeared to be going perfectly okay. Hadn't made any mistakes or anything. waiting, and then just totally out of the blue pulled up. So
I actually missed that race, so I don't know why I missed that race. So yeah, I've got to get back in there and watch it.
Yeah, it would have been easy to miss them this week, wasn't it? So there was quite a lot of races this week, and the 12 a day, it made it all a bit sort of different. I saw somebody saying on the forums, did we get race 11 and 12 by mistake today? We were only going to get 8 tomorrow.
We're all just cramming them in after the window closed.
Yeah, so that was, I don't know what happened to that missed beat, and that got Sharkadood in that race as well. Obviously you didn't see it, so I'm sort of like tell you what went on. Sharkadood went off in the lead and ran really well, got pegged back towards the end, and ended up finishing fourth at Bramhill Rose for John Morgan. Just sort of sat on the shoulder of the leaders and then took it up 2 furlongs out and won it quite well. Festival Stanley second and Son Camalo third, but that's another one of those small field Group 1s, which can't really call a Group 1 race a prep race for another race, but I should expect we'll see quite a few of them in the Gold Cup later in the year. Whether Bramhill Rose is good enough to win a Gold Cup, I don't know, but it won that well, and we'll have to see if we can find out what's going on with Miss Beat. Maybe after I word with Gray and see if he's going to say anything. I haven't noticed anything in the forums today, so I presume he's seen the race. So I don't know. I've got no idea why.
I definitely want to get into my shop tomorrow. I'll fire up the computer and I'll watch that race. I'm pretty keen to see it.
Yeah, so that was that was the group races for Monday and Tuesday then, wasn't it?
That's right.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet.
Well, there were a couple of group races on the Wednesday that me and Doug didn't get a chance to talk about. We had a little bit of a problem earlier on where we recorded most of the flat program, and I forgot to turn the microphone on, which is why you got that comment at the beginning about the microphones on this time. So we were running out of time a little bit. So there's a couple that we've got to just take a quick look at that I didn't get a chance to speak to Doug about. The first one of which was the December Festival Hurdle. That's a Grade 1 at Leopardstown, and this was another good win for Asian Maze from John's Jumpers, who was always up there with the leaders. Took it up just inside the final half mile, really. Was driven out to win quite comfortably by a good 5.5 lengths. It was a second 5.5 length winner we had on the week. It beat a good horse of Leon's in Hedgemere in second, and there was some other decent horses down the field as well. Quiet Man was a bit keen, but still ran well. Was just coming to the end of his tether towards the end of the race as well there. Black Tide was another one that was one that didn't get into the race at all, really. It was a pretty comfortable win in the end for Asian Maze, and that one's really got to be up the top of the one of the ones at the top of the pecking order for the champion hurdle later in the year, I would think. Be interesting to see how they all go with that one, but it was a pretty good performance, even though we'd got the ridiculousness of there only being 4 flights of hurdles to take in the entire race. It was just a little bit crazy. Not sure what's happened there at Leopardstown. I don't know whether they've taken some of the hurdles out for safety reasons or what, but whatever happened, I think it's fairly safe to say that Asian Maze is going to be a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the season. The other group race that we had, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, was the Fortria Chase. That was a Grade 2 event over 2 mile for chasers, and this was another interesting race with some good new horses in there from some of the big stables. Mac the Knife from Paul Rhodes was in there and ran exceptionally well to come through at the end. Took him about a furlong and a half out and was driven out and won really well. Flohar, the horse that came second, sort of ran in snatches a little bit and didn't have the pace of the winner, but still ran well and was only beaten by a short head. That one will definitely be one to follow in the future. And the Name Is Frank that came third also ran well. Got into the lead a couple of furlongs out. It was just a little bit done for toe, but I've got a feeling that's another one of the new horses that hasn't had a run yet, so maybe that'll come on for its run. The fourth horse was Geschweister, and Geschweister was one of the known horses that have been racing all through the season. And that stayed right out the back for most of the race, and they sort of arrived on the premises quite late, so I don't know what the thinking there was. Probably needs to get into the race a little bit quicker if it's going to challenge for anything. And Eskimo Dave, the favourite, was another one that was probably a little bit disappointing. Didn't really ever look like winning, but that Mac the Knife certainly looks like it's got it's got a couple of good big races in it, and with it being a 2-miler, there could be another one for Paul Rhodes for the Queen Mother, but I think it's already got to be aiming Sally Army at that one, so I don't quite know where Mac the Knife will go, but it'll be interesting to see. But that was a good win as well. So there you go, then. That was week 6 of the National Hunt. I enjoyed that little look back there. Now you may have noticed 1 or 2 comments during the show about a little mistake that happened, and that was that we got halfway through doing the shows this week, and then we realised that I'd forgotten to turn the microphone on. We also had 1 or 2 other little mishaps later on with things going on. So we're going to leave you this week after you've all had a good Christmas, looking forward to a good New Year with something that happened at the start of the recording that you might find just a little bit funny, and we'll see you all next time. 3rd time lucky. Right, I've got Doug on the line then, and we're going to go through the Royal Ascot races from week 6, the big group races. How you doing, Mike? Doug?
You might as well just leave that in.
Oh dear. Sorry about that. Right, how you doing, Doug? You all right? Everything good?
Everything's good.
you know what your name is going to do.
You're gone a bit troppo, mate.
I'm gone what? Yeah.